Hello, my name is Hannah, and let's talk Les Miserables. So today is Saturday, and I thought I wasn't going to be able to film today. Bye, Torty. And I ended up with a little bit of extra time, so I figured I'd go ahead and start this fourth week of reading Les Miserables, and the cats have been going crazy all morning. She's finally settling down, while this beast is outside in the cold. Look at that glare. But I actually just finished reading the first chapter of book 3, which is just all about the year 1817, apparently. Ooh, that was a loud noise. And yeah, I'm just gonna pet Torty while talking about this, I guess. Yeah. But yeah, like, that's literally all the chapter is. And it's very, very boring. It's literally just talking about, like, the smallest of things that happened. It's like, these two scholars were arguing about the divinity of Christ. These people were arguing about this and that. And it talks about, like, famous artists, authors, and like actors and everything like that of the time. It's a lot of names I don't know. It's talking about like the color of the military outfits, like just weird bits of information like that, because basically at the end of the chapter, Victor Hugo is like, history tends to forget like all of these little things, but we don't want to do that. And it's just kind of like, what's the point here? Like, is it really necessary, though? Boring start to this first book, but the next chapter, I guess, is about these 4 people playing a prank in Paris. Also, I'm sorry, there's sirens in the background here. Also, I haven't brushed my teeth yet, and so I think I have a bit of croissant in there. So, sorry about that. But yeah, boring chapter. Getting ready to head out to D&D soon. And that's about it. It's a pretty gray day, so hopefully it's not gonna rain. So I just read my chapter today for Les Miserables, and we have finally met Fantine. So this whole book 3, the first 3 chapters have been about Fantine and everything, and I'm assuming this is before she has her child, because I think she's about 20 here, and they haven't mentioned anything about her having a kid, and I couldn't imagine her having, like, an 8-year-old kid or whatever at 20, even back then. So, yeah, I think this is before all of that, which I think is really interesting, because that means we actually get the story of kind of how she ended up where she is, and what happened more with Cosette and stuff like that, because in the musical, obviously, they kind of just do kind of like a time jump to where she's really like downtrodden and poor and just really doesn't have many options. So I'm really glad that in the book, Hugo is going to flesh it out, it seems, because right now it seems like she's pretty, like, okay, like she's doing fine, like she doesn't seem super poor or anything, and she seems to be wearing modern clothes, and she actually has like this friend circle, which it's 4 women, and they're like all friends and everything. They're like 19 to 23, I think is the age range or something like that. And then there's these 4 guys, and the girls are dating the guys, and the male friend group, their names are all really weird, so I'm not even gonna try. But one of them's from Montauban, which I've said in another video, like that's the area where my husband is from, so whenever that comes up in a book, I'm always just like, haha, Montauban, that's so cool, because it's such like a small area. They're all kind of dating each other and stuff, and they just seem like normal young adults. So like nothing bad has happened, but it looks like we're gonna be getting there. It's kind of implied that Fantine is like really in love with this guy, but this guy is just kind of like toward her. So I'm going to assume that there's going to be like an expectation of a proposal or something, and it's going to go like wrong or whatever. But yeah, I'm interested to read the next few chapters and kind of find out what happens to her, because I guess it's just not as much of a time skip in the book as they had to do in the musical. Also, yesterday we went and saw the Guillermo del Toro movie Nightmare Alley, because that just came out here on Wednesday, and I ended up being disappointed just because it wasn't what I expected. Like, I rated it 2 out of 5 stars on Letterboxd. It just, to me, it was boring. The plot was just, like, not there. I don't know. It was way too long. Like, everyone is saying that, and they were right. It was way too long. The whole beginning was kind of pointless, and it just wasn't entertaining like I wanted it to be. Cate Blanchett is amazing in this, though. Like, her office in the movie and just the character she plays and everything is just spot on. But yeah, not my thing, I guess. Yet. So, yeah, I completely forgot what I was gonna say. I just woke up from a nap, actually, so I'm a bit disheveled, whatever. I have no idea if I've actually recorded an intro for this week, because I've been editing the past week's videos and, like, being more concerned about those, and so I have no idea. Like, I completely kind of forgot about filming this week, so I don't know. I will see when I go to edit later, I guess. But anyway, I just completed book 3 today. I actually read 3 chapters because I was pretty interested in what was happening, and I kind of figured I knew what was going to happen, and I was right. Let's see, what is book 4 called? Alright, book 4 is on page 144, and it's called To Trust is Sometimes to Surrender. So I wasn't expecting book 3 to be really short, but it pretty much just gives us the intro to Fantine and kind of how she got to where she is when she's introduced to us in the musical. Alright, and I think I have done an intro to this because I do remember talking about Fantine's friends and the, like, 4 dudes that kind of, they're all together and stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna have to double check that. Anyway, so this whole book, like, it's short. It wasn't that long. And essentially, like, all the couples have been together for 2 years, and they're in the, gosh, my mind is scrambled right now. But the women in the group are, well, Fantine not so much, but most of them are like, oh hey, when are you gonna give us a big surprise? And, like, bat their eyelashes and stuff, because obviously they're referring to, like, hey, when are you gonna put a ring on it, kind of thing. And finally, after 2 years, the men are like, hey, it's time for that surprise. And they have, like, this wonderful day that starts at 5 a.m. for some reason. Like, fuck that. And they go do all these things throughout Paris. They ride donkeys at some point, but they go to, like, the Jardin des Plantes, which is one of my favorite parks in Paris, or my favorite park in Paris. So it's kind of cool, like, reading about places like that. And they end the day on the Champs-Élysées at a restaurant there. And I could definitely see from the beginning where this was going, but the girls are kind of blinded by love a bit. Before shit goes down, there's a chapter called, like, I don't even know how to say this dude's name. It's like Tholomes or something weird like that. It's called, like, His Wisdom, and it's like, what? But he basically goes on a rant about other things, but he goes on a rant about puns, and I kind of wanted to read a bit of that section out, because it's the most ridiculous thing I've read in this book so far. So this is chapter 7 of book 3, and it says, puns are the droppings of the spirit in its flight. They may fall anywhere, and the spirit, having voided itself of a flippancy, rises into the blue. A white splash on a rock does not prevent the eagle from soaring. Not that I am a despiser of puns. I give them the credit they deserve, but no more. The loftiest spirits in mankind, and perhaps beyond mankind, the most illustrious and delightful, have had resort to play on words. Jesus made a pun about Peter, the rock. Moses made a pun about Isaac. Oh gosh, another weird name. Aeschylus about Polynices. Cleopatra about Octavius. And we may note that without Cleopatra's pun, made before the Battle of Actium, no one would remember the town of Tornia, whose name is derived from a Greek word meaning a wooden spoon. And it's just like, what? I don't know, I never heard anyone go on, like, a spiel about puns before, so I just thought that was like the funniest thing I've seen in here so far. And yeah. So the guy that actually said that whole thing is the one that Fantine is infatuated with, and I swear he is the biggest dick of all of them. And he's also like the ringleader of them, but through that speech and everything, like he's pretty much saying that like women exist to be hunted by men, and that if a guy is single, he should be going after a woman that's already like married and stuff. And it's just like, what? Excuse me? So yeah, like, I mean, if you can't tell what's gonna happen after that, it's just kind of like, duh. But pretty much the men are like, hey ladies, stay here, we'll be back in a few minutes. And they're all just like waving at each other, like all flirty, and like, oh, they're gonna go get the surprise, oh my god. And yeah, they never come back. Instead, a waiter comes up to them and is like, they left this for me to give to you. And it pretty much says like, we're going home. Do not be sad, do not hate us, our parents don't like you, and pretty much we're too good for you, and we need to go run around with other women. Bye. And that's it. But that book pretty much ends with it reiterating how that man was Fantine's like first and only love, I think it said. But since they messed around, she's also pregnant. So this tells us how Cosette came into being, which I really appreciate, and I'm glad that the book goes into more detail about that, just because obviously that's one of the things that's cut from the musical. So that's been my favorite part of actually reading this so far, is seeing like the little details and answering some of the questions you may have after just watching the musical or the movie or whatever, and just learning more about these characters' lives. So that's been my favorite part so far. And so tomorrow, did I even say what day today is? I might have said today was Friday. Today's Thursday. Like, I don't know. I can't remember what I said. But tomorrow is Friday, and I'll be starting book 4 then.